Hey guys, what's going on? Coming here with another video. Before I start, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the subscribe button down there in the corner. Much appreciated. So I wanted to get to 100 subscribers by Wednesday, which would be in a day. So I don't know if that's going to happen. We're kind of far away, but maybe we'll get someone to share it and get a bunch of people to subscribe, and that'd be great. So makes me want to keep making content like this. So yeah, please make sure you like and subscribe. Much appreciated. So today we're going to talk about Virgin Galactic. Ticker is SPCE. This is a stock I talked about, saying how it's one of my spec stocks. And, this is one that's having great things happen, even with some bad news that I put in the previous video. I'll put the space, why I'm so bullish on space, that I made a couple weeks ago in the end screen at the end of this video. So if you want to check that out, just go ahead and do that. But this is new stuff that just broke and why the stock's been running like crazy the past couple weeks. So if you haven't watched my channel, I am a long-term investor. So I believe in long-term growth. This is a spec stock. I like growth stocks primarily, but this is one of 3 spec stocks I'm in. So let me get started here. Spec play, just said that. It is less than 3% of my portfolio. So I like making spec positions 1, 2, or 3% of whatever is in my portfolio because they're very risky. I mean, it's big risk, big reward. So that's really why it is less than 3% right now. But with that said, the more it gets established, the more good news you hear, or the more it turns into like a growth stock, you can add more and you can cost up on your average base if it's going that way. So right now it's about 3% of my portfolio. In the past 4 weeks, it's had 100% gain. So that's literally insane. Nothing but good news, good news, good news, good news, good news coming out. And a lot of it was no news for like 2 weeks ago. There was like no news and the stock was running. So I knew something was happening unless it was like a short squeeze or something like that. So I thought it was going to be a short squeeze 2-3 weeks ago when it was just running up, and I'm like, why? But you have people that have inside trader, you have inside trading and all that stuff, so you just don't see some of the stuff that's happening. But a lot of the big news that just came out actually today was ARK Invest a month ago started a space ETF, and that's what kind of made the wheels turn. I was like, okay, maybe this is why it's going a little bit, but nothing's proven. Well, today they just broke the news that they actually bought over a $250,000, 253,600 shares of space today. So that is a big position. They bought a lot of space things, but this is big. Like, I think this was the biggest position they bought. So they really do believe in Virgin Galactic. So that's awesome. So obviously when people see that, people buy it. So that's kind of what happens. So with that said, no matter what happens on their next test launch, which I think is coming up the next month or 2, I'm holding the shares no matter what, good or bad news, because you have people like this getting in it, and I'm just a believer eventually, no matter what happens, if something bad happens, the stock might go down a lot or a little, depending on what happens. But I do feel like they'll turn it around, recover, figure out what went wrong, and make it work. So they did actually a test flight in November or December of this year, and it didn't really go as planned. I went into detail on my last Virgin Galactic space video of what happened and whatever, but basically it landed back safe. They just didn't successfully go. So big news. I think this is the big news right here that just came out today, but there could be more coming, and I think this stock is going to run more. So I didn't make this on my top 4. If you've watched my previous videos, I have a top 4 growth that I really focus this year, and I'm just staying on track of them. I can make like my top movers for the month. If people are interested in that, just let me know in the comments if you'd be interested to see my portfolio and see my biggest 4 movers maybe of the month and what news and what happened. So I could do that, but so maybe there's more big news to come. Like I said, I do own this stock. My cost base is 2116, so it's killer. So I think it's 164% increase over when I started buying this position. When I started buying it October of 2020. I bought it 3 separate times, And the reason I started buying that was actually the first, that was when they put a date on to do the test flights, and this was about a month out prior to doing it. So I wanted to get in this stock because I thought, okay, if it goes well or semi-well, or I took the chance, which is why it's a spec play. I took the chance basically saying, okay, I think this is gonna work. I feel like that there's a market for this. They just gotta figure some things out, but I could see this really being something that people want to do in the future. So I bought 3 times. So my cost base is 2116. I'm at 120% gain. Like I said, I'm holding shares no matter what happens. You know, I like this stock long-term because I'm a long-term investor. Not a day trader, not a swing trader, not an option trader, not a call trader, not a put trader. I don't do really any of that, to be honest. So where I love this stock, I mean, I don't think it will ever go this low again, but I would love it between the 118 and $30 range. I would definitely add to my cost base if it ever goes down that. And you'd probably have to have a lot of bad news for it to get there, but I would still buy it. I really would. Even with the bad news, because I think they're going to figure it out, retest, and then they'll be going right back up. That's just how I view it. Still buy, I would still buy in the, 40 to 60 range. I would still buy with what's out there right now. So you're really in the still buy-ish range. I would hold if it goes 70 plus with the news we know now. I wouldn't be buying this at 70 plus. So with what's going on now. Now, if they successfully do a test flight and, you know, everything looks great and Richard Branson's going to go to space and, okay, 70 might be, so we can move these numbers. But right now, based on what we know, this is where I would love still buy and hold. So obviously I'm holding right now just because of my cost base. I'm happy with it. It's 3% of my portfolio. So I like where I'm at with this stock right now. Prediction of 2021, end of 2021. I think it will be $100 plus by the end of 2021. So that's just crazy because my cost base is there. So I would over 400% my initial cost base adding in October if it hits $100, and that's very possible. So this is a stock I keep a close eye on. I find it more interesting, but like I said, like 500 times in this video, no matter what happens, I'm still holding because I do believe in it long term. You know, and when I mean long term, I mean 3 to 5 years. Do you think they'll be better off than where they're at now? Yes. 5 to 10 years. Do you think they're going to drive down costs and make it readily available for people in the public that makes it affordable? In 10 years? Yes, I do think that. Do you think there's going to be a market? Yes. So why don't we buy this stock? That's how I look at it. I mean, you got a good management team, you got a good thing going, you got ARK Invest going in. I mean, it's kind of common sense to me, so I hope you guys realize this. And if you don't own a position right now, is it bad to start a position right now? No. Whatever your portfolio is, let's say you have 10 grand. I mean, it wouldn't be bad to put in, you know, $100 if you have 10 grand, which would be 1%, or if you, a couple $100 just to start a position now, because if it runs up, great. Then you have a position. If it dives down due to bad news with the next test flight, okay, buy more. Like, just put yourself in a position to be in control, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that's where I'm at, but if obviously at this point I would love to put, 10% of my portfolio in, but I'm not. It's a spec play, so I think it still is, obviously. So that's all I got. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. I want to get to 100 followers in the next couple days. If you can make that possible by hitting the subscribe button, much appreciated. All right, peace.